Hey y'all, it's Kayla from Loving BDSM by myself with no John Brownstone, and that is weird. But I am calling this the first official video for Fit for Kink. So if you're new to this and you're like, what the hell is Fit for Kink? It started as a Google Plus group, and then I couldn't keep up with that as much as I wanted. And when Loving BDSM, the website, had a community with a forum, we had a forum called Fit for Kink. And when the community is built again, hopefully very soon, we will have that forum back. But I wanted to have this conversation and talk about this even without the forum. So, short of being able to interact online through social media, I thought I'll make a video where we talk about it, and my plan is that it'll be a weekly video series where we'll just talk about different topics. And I say we, the royal we, clearly. We'll talk about different topics related to getting fit for your kink. So for this first one, for anybody who's new to it and wasn't a part of the Google Plus group 100 years ago, it feels like, or on the original forums with us, the whole idea is taking care of ourselves, whether that's being physically fit or at whatever a healthy weight is for us, in order to do our kink. So where this started for me, I have bad knees, so I can't kneel on the ground, or really anywhere, but it's usually on the ground. I can't kneel on the ground as a submissive for too long because it hurts my knees. We play with bondage, and I can't do certain types of ties. Like, I'd love to do a hog tie at least once, and I physically can't get into that position. I have been on, I'm recording now, it's July 2018, and for exactly 2 years prior, I've been battling mental health and physical health issues that almost put our kinky fuckery to a dead stop. So almost no scenes, no real rough play that we really like. We tend to get kind of primal and sort of, it gets a little wild. We have not drawn blood yet. That's probably the one thing we haven't done yet. Thank goodness, because blood's not my thing. But we couldn't do that because first had undiagnosed mental illnesses. I have generalized anxiety and I'm bipolar. And that was quite literally fucking with my head. And then I had physical ailments that had to be addressed. Some internal and some muscular and all kinds of stuff. So I've spent the past 2 years just trying to get healthy. But it started with this idea that I wanted to be healthier so we could do more kinky things. And now I'm pretty well healthy in general. Taking care of my health was the only way I could function as a human being. But now I'm hoping to get back on track and focus on getting healthy so I can do more kinky things that I want to do. So for this first video in this series, for however long it lasts, that's what that means to me. It's not about being a certain size. I do personally want to lose weight. I don't think that everybody who does kink has to be ultra thin. I think that as long as you are healthy and your body allows you to do the things you want to do and that you believe you should be capable of doing, then whatever size you're at is perfectly fine. I don't think I'll ever be thin. I don't even know what that is. I've never been thin my whole life. I was the chubby kid growing up, have been chubby my whole life. I pretty much will probably have curves in not an hourglass figure until I die. That's just who I am, and that's fine. I've grown comfortable with that. But what I don't want is bloating. That means that I can't even get into a position, and I don't want horrible headaches because I'm not eating the right foods. And I really would like to get physically fit enough to get into a hog tie. So that's my first goal. And I think if I ever get to that point, there's gonna be pictures. There might even be video because I'm gonna be very excited because I really do want to try that. So what I'm doing currently, and for me, weight loss and fitness and taking care of that side of my health is a journey. I have gone through, like a lot of people, I've done all kinds of diets. In college, I did Slim Fast. That worked for about 5 minutes and then I got hungry. I've never done Jenny Craig or any of those others, but I did do Slim Fast. I have cut my calories. I've done paleo, which worked a little bit. I did Whole30. I did Whole30 the first time just to try it. And then the second time I did it, it was as an elimination diet. I had to figure out what foods were messing with my body. And what I discovered is that carbs are my enemy, and not just because I gain weight on carbs. I cannot eat. I have some weird intolerance. It's not an allergy and is not a diagnosable disorder, disease, or anything like that. But I have a major sensitivity to all grains, barley, rye, wheat, rice, soy. Soy's not a grain, but it kind of ends up being in that family. There's entire food group I can't even touch. And then there are vegetables that I am sensitive to. So I did, like I said, Whole30 I did the first time to lose weight, and it worked, except it wasn't sustainable. It didn't feel like I could eat that way forever. I've done paleo multiple times. I've just done basic calorie restriction. And where I've landed now in this Fit for Kink world, where I'm at right now, and it could change, but I think I found the thing that'll stick, is the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is high fat, moderate protein, low carb. It's not Atkins. Atkins is more high protein, but ketogenic and Atkins can get confused, and some people kind of do a mix of the two. They do their own thing. I believe I'm following the ketogenic diet. I did a lot of research before I started. I do not think it's what everybody should do. I think what we all have to do is find what works for our bodies, and ketogenic will work for some people and it won't work for others. But what I found was that my body apparently was screaming at me to do this diet, because most people I've talked to or watched their YouTube videos, and if you're ever interested in keto, message me, email me, talk to me on Twitter, at Kayla Lords. I will tell you who I follow. I'll give you links to their channels, because the people I follow, I feel like they're responsible and they're knowledgeable. I don't feel like I'm following people who are trying to do fad diets. But so that's if you're interested in keto. So, but the moment I started keto, I didn't go through the Keto Flu. I had one day where, and the Keto Flu, if you're not familiar with it, is basically where your body shifts from burning glucose to burning ketones. And you have this dip of energy and you're exhausted and you have headaches. And I had one afternoon where I could have fallen asleep sitting up. I was just, it came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, life is good. And then I'm sitting at lunch with John Brownstone and my eyes started to shut while he's talking to me. And there are things that you can do to minimize that. It's not something that everybody has to go through, but I really didn't go through it. I didn't find it difficult. It was delicious for the first time in probably a year. I was full every time I ate, and my stomach didn't hurt every time I ate, which is what was happening when I was eating the standard American diet. So keto really does work for me. It is hard. If anybody has heard of it and you thought, maybe I'll try it, I say try it. I say try anything that you think might work for you, because you never know what it'll be. But the ketogenic diet is not easy. It's difficult because you're giving up all breads, corn, rice, potatoes, starches of all kinds. You don't give up vegetables completely. I eat spinach, I eat broccoli, I eat cauliflower. Those are probably my top 3. I eat avocados. I eat some tomatoes every once in a while, but that's pretty rare for me. But other than that, I've given up most others and didn't even miss it. I gave up fruit and I didn't even miss it, which is weird, because I used to love fruit and now I'm like, I don't really care. But so yeah, that's what I'm doing is ketogenic. I did not mean to turn this into, let's talk about the ketogenic diet, but that's what I'm doing to get my weight to a healthier level. Working on my physical health and mental health over the past 2 years has been very good for me. My blood pressure prior to 2016 was usually 120/80. And then over the past 2 years, it was inching higher and higher and higher. And my primary care doctor was like, if you can't get this down, I'm going to have to put you on blood pressure medicine, and you are in your 30s. I do not want to do that. So I kept doing things, and what I didn't understand is that was related to stress, and it was related to physical pain and all kinds of other things I was going through. So physical pain is gone. My mental health is under control, meaning I still have anxiety and I'm still bipolar, but I'm functioning better than I used to. And I credit that all to having a wonderful therapist. And I think your mental health is what keeps you fit for kink too. So we will talk about mental health here too. I am no expert there either. I can only speak to my experiences and what people I trust have told me. So we'll talk about those things too, because those things do affect whether you can do your kink the way you'd like to do. So we'll talk about that over this series as well. But so mental health is under control for the most part. Physical health is definitely under control. I have now spent the past week and a half pain-free completely, and that has not been the case for me in physical pain for about a year. So it's certainly given me a lot of energy, and I'm sort of ready to go and do things. And so now my blood pressure is, I just went to a follow-up appointment with one of my doctors, and it was 112/67. Best I've ever seen it recorded. I've never seen it that way. So the things I have found for me are working. So I'm going to keep doing them for as long as they work. Right now, it's mid-July. I look probably fancier than I will have to fix my necklace, fancier than I'm ever going to look again, y'all. I typically wear t-shirts, and if I had long hair, it'd be in a messy bun, which is why I have shorter hair now, because I was like, what's the point if it's always going to be a messy bun? And I'm even wearing makeup. I'm very proud of myself for that. I almost never wear makeup because it's July 12th as I'm recording, and we just took John Brownstone out for his birthday dinner where we had steak, which I have to say that is a wonderful thing about being on keto. I get to eat steak. And there were some indulgences. For me, it was Diet Coke. That was my indulgence. For John Brownstone, who does a slightly different version, he does a low-carb version of my ketogenic diet, so he still has carbs on a regular basis, but he doesn't go near as low as I do. He doesn't need to. He benefits from reducing his carbs, but he doesn't need to eliminate them to the extent that I do in order to be healthy. And he has dropped 20 pounds, so clearly this is working for him. But there were indulgences, and we sort of relaxed a bit. For me, it's just when I indulge now, it's that I eat more of what I normally already eat. So I've actually got, y'all know how I am with my coffee. If you've been following Living BDSM for any amount of time, you know this is my love language. I don't normally drink a venti iced coffee. I'm recording in the evening. I don't normally drink coffee this late at night. I would drink something else. My new thing has been chamomile tea, but this is how I indulged when I got to lick the icing off of a cupcake. And when I say I got to, I mean I said, hey, I can't eat a cupcake because that's really bad for me, and I will not have a good outcome if I do that. But while sugar is not really my friend, buttercream icing is not the worst thing I could do. So that'll be how I indulge for your birthday. And John Brownstone, being the dominant that he is, said, sounds good to me. And that was wonderful. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. You know, I've already had some ideas of some topics that I do want to talk about. And some of it is, oh, I didn't say, y'all know how I am. If you've been listening for a while, you know how I am. I get scattered. The other thing, so that's the eating portion, right? Ketogenic diet, dealing with my mental health, going to the doctor for my physical health, and then to try and become more physically fit, I walk. And right now that's all I do is I walk, because that was the gentlest thing I could start doing without causing too many more problems than I already had. It's like, okay, we can do this because I'm physically capable of walking, so I'll just walk with purpose instead of sitting at my desk all day. We are filming right now in my corner where my little desk is and my little chair and children's art on the wall. This is my office. And I was sitting here like 12 hours a day, not moving hardly. So I started a challenge with some submissive friends of mine on Twitter to get a certain amount of steps in a day or a week, however we decided to work that out. It ends up being over the course of a week, but I think we all have a goal of trying to hit 10,000 steps at least a day. And so that got me physically active. Now I do want to add more of those things in and try more things, especially as my body sort of starts responding to physical activity more and I'm pain-free and all that good stuff. So we're going to talk about those things too. And I have some ideas for things we can discuss. And I'm not an expert. I am not providing medical advice. I'm not telling you what I think you should do. I want to look at these topics in general terms about how we can try a new exercise. I might tell you that I'm trying yoga, and that's just my example. And hopefully what you will take from that is, oh, I should maybe go try a new thing too, because I haven't tried a new thing in a long time. It doesn't have to be yoga or whatever I end up talking about. It could be something else. So those are the kinds of things we'll talk about. Like I said, I'm hoping this will be a weekly series. My problem is I am not comfortable on camera without John Brownstone next to me. This is a thing that I want to do, and he may join us because he sometimes does. But I didn't want to add one more thing to him and say, "Oh, you should totally come do this with me," even though you've got other things to do and you're not always available. And oh yeah, you're in your garage in your wood shop making kinky fuckery things out of wood. So you probably won't see him very much, but he might decide. He's actually in the room with me now. I can't flip the camera around for you to see, but he's on the couch over there reading his book, enjoying the rest of his birthday. Aren't you? Yes, he's watching me while I record. So for anybody who doesn't know me yet, and you haven't found me through Loving BDSM or the podcast, Loving BDSM podcast, I am the submissive in a DS relationship. We identify mostly as DDLG. He is a daddy dom. I don't really call myself a little, but I am a baby girl, and my view is that is on the spectrum of littles. I'm also a masochist. I accidentally get bratty, but I don't mean to be. I'm a service submissive, so I love doing stuff for him that makes his life easier, that fulfills me in different ways. I think I'm like most submissives, where I'm a little bit of this, I'm a little bit of that. I'm my own version of what submission means, and so sometimes the things I do to get healthy and to stay healthy and to get fit for kink, there we go again, are things that my daddy dom tells me I have to do, and I agree to. We negotiate and I consent to it, and he sort of monitors that. So we will talk about some of those things, I think, in an upcoming video. And if you are dominant, maybe it'll give you some ideas of things you can do. And if you're submissive, maybe it'll give you some talking points to take to your dominant of, hey, maybe you could do something like this, and maybe this would help me reach my goals. So the big takeaway from this video, which is probably way longer than I intended because that's how I am, is that Fit for Kink is not about losing 100 pounds. It's not that we all are supposed to be some ideal body weight or shape or any of that. All I want to help all of us do, myself included, is become healthier and fitter so we can have the kink and the scenes and the kinky fuckery that we want. That is what I'm trying to do. And so this is really journey, and sometimes it's advice, and sometimes it's ooh, don't do this, I did this, don't do this. Or if you do this, do it better than I did it. And so we can kind of go on this journey together. So that's what this is. It's Fit for Kink. I don't know yet what day each week it will come out, if I'm able to do it weekly. But I'll be consistent with it. And if you have questions or things that you'd love for me to go over in upcoming videos, feel free to comment below. Or like I said, reach out to me. I'm on Twitter at Kayla Lords, or you can talk to the two of us together as Loving BDSM at Loving BDSM. All the links you need will be down below. So I'm looking forward to this. I hope that we can all get fit together in whatever way that means for us, and that we can all have more kinky fun in our own lives together, but not at the same time. Y'all know what I mean. Okay, love you guys. Bye.